Okay, good morning, everybody. So, as you know, this is our last academic week of school. So, like we usually do, we're going to do a little review of our topics that we've learned this year. So, first thing we'd like to do is do our Year 3 science review. So, our learning objective today is to recall what we learned in science this year. And we have learned a lot in science this year. We've had lots of great fun. And now I'm going to just give you a few reminders of we've done 6 topics this year. We've done friction, just the last ones. We've got 5 other topics. One of them was called the characteristics of living things or life processes. So we asked each other, is it living, non-living, or has it ever been alive? So living, non-living, or never been alive. And there were 7 characteristics of living things. This video is here for you to remind you of what we learned. Of course, you can pause it when you're doing your work. You can look back over it. So there's the 7 characteristics there. I hope you can remember them. I'm not going to into them now because we did them in great detail, so you should remember them. Next thing we did in this topic was animal groups. We looked at there are more than 6 obviously, but we looked at 6 different animal groups, okay? And we looked at the characteristics of the animals in those groups. For example, mammals are warm-blooded, they have hair or fur, they give birth, and they have milk for their babies, remember? So I'd like you to remember that. Next, we looked at the parts of the plant and their functions. What do they do? We looked at 4 main parts: the roots, the leaf, the stem, the flower. The petal is an extra one that's there. What were these parts for? Can you remember what each part did? What was their function? Okay, we did a lot on that. We also did the 5 senses. That was easy peasy lemon squeezy, and we'd already done it in year 2 in great detail as well. So I want you to think about the 5 senses, what they are, and what part of your body we use for those senses. For example, what can you hear? It's the sense of hearing. And what part of the body do you use? Well, it's very easy, guys. Now, we also did materials, and we spent a long, long time on materials. We studied all of the materials and their properties. So here we have some materials. You can read through this. You can stop the video and have a look, but I hope you would remember most of them. And the properties of these materials are that they are hard. For example, a diamond is very hard. We had other materials, flexible materials. Have a look there. Remember, rubber is flexible, plastic can be hard or flexible or soft. So I would like you to remember that some materials have more than one property. They may have many properties. Remember, we played all those games? Asking about what material is this by the property. Have a look at a rubber. It's soft, but it's also very flexible. Think about it, okay, guys? Now, in materials, we also did electricity. We made electrical circuits. We had lots of good fun. What did we need to do that? Can you remember the things we needed? How did we do it? How did we put them together? Do you remember which materials were conductors? Which materials were insulators? Do you remember those phrases? We also did healthy eating. We looked at all the things we need to do to stay healthy. We had our vegetables, our fruits, our carbohydrates, our grains, our starches, our proteins, pulses, beans, fish, our dairy, which we all love because that includes ice cream. And we had our our fats and oils, which we only need a little bit of, okay? So I hope you remember that we did that. And if you need to stop the video and have a little look at this one, this is, excuse me, our eating healthy guide, okay? So how much do you remember? I really hope when you sit down and think about it that you remember quite a bit. What I want you to do today is just get a piece of paper, write down, or you can draw a picture, or you can just send me a video of the things that you remember from each topic. So there's 5 different topics. Please try to remember, work your brain, and then I'd like you to tell me which one would you like to review on Wednesday. We're going to go into more detail, maybe do an experiment, but I'd like to know which one that you're not really sure on and which one you'd like to explore a little bit more before the end of the year. Because remember, you're going into year 4 soon. You're going to need all these things to carry on as successful scientists next year. So I'm going to send you as well a little sheet with some reminders, like a little hint for you, but I'd like you to do it your own way, just as much as you can. And please enjoy it and remember all the fun we had in science this year. See you later, guys.